Welcome to Xi Jinping Briefing. The content of the briefing includes the brutal system China uses to make people disappear. Antony Blinken urges Beijing to use influence in Israel-Gaza conflict. How smart weaponry and tech catch-up alter China's assassin's mace tactic. The brutal system China uses to make people disappear. The Sydney Morning Herald. Chinese human rights lawyer Liu Siwei, who represented one of the 12 Hong Kong activists who protested against Beijing's national security laws, has been arrested by Chinese authorities after being forcibly repatriated from Laos. Liu is at risk of being sent to prison in China and subjected to torture. He is likely to be held under residential surveillance at a designated location, RSDL, a system that allows Chinese police to hold suspects incommunicado for up to 6 months. The RSDL system has been widely condemned for its brutal treatment of detainees, who are often tortured, isolated, and denied legal representation. According to Chinese official court records, the number of people held under RSDL increased from up to 680 in 2013 to a maximum of 15,120 in 2020. The Chinese government defends its legal system and treatment of prisoners, claiming that the rights of the individual concerned under the law were fully protected. However, research by human rights organizations suggests that RSDL facilities can be more severe than black jails, off-the-grid detention facilities where hardened criminals are interrogated. The use of RSDL by Chinese authorities has led to global condemnation and impacts business relations with China, with a 25% increase in the cancellation or delay of business trips to China by U.S. companies. Australian business leaders acknowledge that the operating environment has changed and that they need to do their due diligence. The Australian government has called for Australian journalists to be allowed back into China, following the release of detained Australian journalist Cheng Lei. However, the threat of extrajudicial detention remains, as seen in the case of Japanese citizen Hideji Suzuki, who spent 6 years in the Chinese detention system, including 7 months in RSDL. Antony Blinken urges Beijing to use influence in Israel-Gaza conflict. South China Morning Post. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has urged China to use its influence in the Middle East to prevent other actors from attacking Israel and escalating the conflict with Hamas. Blinken made the plea during a phone call with China's Foreign Affairs Minister Wang Yi. The U.S. has expressed concern about the possibility of Hezbollah, an Iran-backed militia group in Lebanon, joining the conflict. China has close relations with Iran and recently helped to broker a diplomatic détente between Iran and Saudi Arabia. Wang reiterated China's opposition to actions that harm civilians and its support for political solutions. How smart weaponry and tech catch-up alter China's assassin's mace tactic. South China Morning Post. China is focusing on versatile and AI-powered weaponry, and the U.S. is concerned that this shift in military technology could give Beijing a strategic advantage. China's military, led by President Xi Jinping, is investing heavily in smart and AI-powered weapons, including autonomous vehicles and AI-equipped weapons. The U.S. believes that harnessing the power of American industry and developing cutting-edge military technologies is crucial to compete with China. The U.S. is investing in AI-enabled military systems and building autonomous ships, aircraft, and other vehicles. The Pentagon is also establishing a generative AI force and integrating AI tools across the department. China's strategy has shifted from developing individual assassin's mace weapons, which target a specific weakness in the enemy, to focusing on building a comprehensive weapons system. China's military is now emphasizing mobilization mechanisms, logistical mechanisms, and military-industrial production. However, major weapons should not be built without adequate support on the battlefield. China's two military priorities are Taiwan and the South China Sea, where Beijing seeks to claim disputed territories. The U.S. is determined to counter Beijing's military activities and confrontations in the region. The U.S. is concerned about the lack of transparency surrounding China's development of AI-enabled military capabilities. China's emphasis on AI and emerging technologies has made Western countries nervous. While it is unclear when both the US and China will have game-changing advantages from AI-enabled systems, China already has weapons such as the Carrier-Killer missile and sea mines that are ready to be deployed. The US believes that whoever designs the best military systems will have the advantage in a potential conflict. Dear viewers, I am Dr. Six, your friendly neighborhood observer from the 6 dimensions. Today, we have some intriguing news to discuss. First, we have the disturbing case of Chinese human rights lawyer Liu Siwei, who was forcibly repatriated from Laos and is now at risk of being imprisoned and tortured in China. This incident shines a light on the residential surveillance at a designated location, RSDL, system, which allows Chinese authorities to hold suspects incommunicado for up to 6 months. This system has been widely condemned for its brutal treatment of detainees, leading to global condemnation and impacting business relations with China. It seems the Chinese government's claim of fully protecting the rights of individuals under the law is being called into question. Next, we have U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken urging China to use its influence in the Middle East to prevent further escalation of the Israel-Gaza conflict. The U.S. is concerned about the possibility of other actors, such as Hezbollah, joining the conflict. China's close relations with Iran put it in a unique position to help prevent such escalations. It's fascinating to see how global conflicts can intertwine with geopolitics and foreign relations. Lastly, we delve into the evolving military technology landscape, with China's focus on versatile and AI-powered weaponry. The US is worried about China gaining a strategic advantage with these advancements. Both countries are investing heavily in AI-enabled military systems, recognizing the importance of cutting-edge technology in future conflicts. China's shift from developing individual assassin's mace weapons to building a comprehensive weapons system highlights their focus on mobilization and logistics. Meanwhile, the US is determined to counter China's military activities in the Taiwan and South China Sea regions. In conclusion, these news stories shed light on various aspects of China's actions and influence. From human rights abuses to foreign policy and military advancements, China is at the center of global attention. As always, I encourage you to share your thoughts and questions. What are your opinions on these developments? Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.